So I was taking the family, we were in a family walk, and we accidentally met another family who the same kids go to the school, and it was purely accidental. And I was like looking around because obviously people get a bit uncomfortable when there's lots of people, but we had a quick conversation, and the dad started talking to me, and he started saying to me that he doesn't believe in the lockdown, he's anti-lockdown, and he thinks that the government is trying to control us and take away our rights, and that basically the reason why they introduced the latest lockdown is because it's to do with America and what the insurrection going on in America, and they wanted to make sure that they could control the people, and that's why they decided to have the lockdown a couple of days before President Trump's speech, when he told people to march on the White House. And I'm looking at him thinking, well, this is, I was just going to ask him about the football. I didn't really believe in this conspiracy theory that he was spouting, but I also thought, well, he clearly believes it himself. There's no way I'm going to persuade him otherwise. So I tried to change the subject. I said, how are the kids? And he said, yeah, no, they're doing really well. But I want to talk to you about this problem in America and how it's connected to the British government. And I was just looking at him thinking, how did you get to this point? How did you end up in the place you're ending up? And in the end, he kept on, every time I tried to change the subject, I mentioned football, he started saying, yeah, look, football's great, but they're trying to control your mind. And obviously he was trying to pitch this idea to try and get me on board, and probably he was going to recommend a website. But in the end, I said, look, I don't know if you're aware of this, but one way the government's trying to control you is because they're scared that people are getting closer and closer, and it's spreading the virus. So they're going to introduce a new law that you can only go walking in the rain when it rains, because then less people will go out, and they're going to get the technology from China to seed the clouds so that they can control the weather, and then they can say you can, you go out on this day in the rain, and a lot of people won't go out in the rain, and then they can control the virus through the weather. And I partly did it because I read that if one person believes one conspiracy theory, there's a good chance they'll believe another conspiracy theory. So I made up this idea, and I wanted to see, and I thought he kind of was listening intently, and I thought maybe he believed it, but he just said that's really interesting stuff. I wouldn't put it past the government, but I really think you've got to understand that the reason we're in lockdown is, the government are trying to control us. So I said, well, yeah, I do appreciate that, but the weather, it always rains in Britain. Have you thought that maybe the government are controlling the weather? And then by controlling the weather, they're going to control us, how much walking we can do in a pandemic. At that point, we sort of had a stalemate, and he came to he ended his walk. We went in opposite directions, but it's amazing, really. All I wanted to do was go for a walk in the park, but you never know who you run into these days. Cheers.